Here's Oval! Howdy folks! Oval here with 16 tips on how to use one of the worst supers in the game, Nova Warp. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the competitive sandbox that is Destiny 2's PvP arena. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Number 1. Charge your attacks.
In most instances, only a fully charged attack will be enough to completely decimate your opponent. Although in most instances, where the enemy is already weakened, a quick burst is usually enough to do the job. It can be difficult to ascertain just how far your burst will reach because the AoE on said burst is actually further than the visual effect. So don't be afraid to activate the burst outside of shotgun range, as in most instances a fully charged burst will still be able to dispatch your opponent, or at least severely injure them.
Number 2. Use it strategically.
There are various methods to employ upon using this super in the most strategic way possible. Avoiding lanes, being wary of heavy, special, and even primary weapon fire is going to be your greatest asset. Against a good team of players, they may be expecting you to cast this as soon as you have it. Being patient and waiting until you have the opportunity to cast in a 1v1 situation is going to be your best bet for success. You do not want to cast this super while the whole squad is getting ready to gun you down. So you can cast this super on a full team, you just don't want to be in a position where they all have an angle on you.
Number 3. Map awareness.
Knowing where your enemy is and all avenues leading up to them is going to be very beneficial while employing this super. Upon activation of this super, or any super, it is not uncommon for a single adversary to attempt to disengage and flee from you. Knowing exactly the direction in which they may attempt to escape can save time and super energy upon reaching this adversary. Also, knowing where the map boundaries are can help you in the event you have to contend with the Shutdown super, as you can utilize the edge of the map to your advantage.
Number 4. Close the gap.
This super is extraordinarily easy to take out, so knowing how to close the distance in the most effective manner is going to go a long way towards the utilization of this super. Making good use of cover and your Dark Blink ability is going to be the most effective strategy upon closing the gap to reach the target. This super synergizes really well with Blink, so having this as your jump will make this endeavor 3 times easier.
Number 5. Time your activation.
Correct timing of the activation of Nova Warp is going to best facilitate results to be proud of. Do not activate this super if you are not at full health. It's an easy super to put down, and if you're already near death, you are not going to have a pleasant experience. Also, as per any super, I usually wouldn't advise popping more than one super in the same round, in comp or in trials, unless it's the last round, as going to orbit with your super is a big no-no.
Number 6. Plan your target.
If you perchance happen to get this super before your opponent does, it's usually a good idea to capitalize on them first before they get their super. This super is a bottom barrel super, and pretty much any other super is going to decimate you. So if you get yours before they do, prioritizing that individual is going to be crucial if you want to avoid getting shut down. Also, if you're able to isolate a better player in the group of people you are going against, taking them out of the picture will do you more good than taking out somebody who perhaps hasn't contributed to the fighting so far.
Number 7. Anticipate the shutdown.
This super is a long charging super with a cooldown time of about 7 minutes with tier 100 intellect. It's not uncommon for your opponents to have their supers at the same time as you, if not even before. It does kind of depend on how well you're performing and how well they are performing, but usually by the time you get your super, you may have to contend with one of their supers. Going up against a shutdown super like Nova Bomb or Blade Barrage can be difficult. Best practice here is to charge right into the thick of your enemy, and as fast as you can blink past them. In most instances, your opponent is going to try and shut you down with their super. But with a combination of Nova Warp's crazy movement abilities and cover you can employ, you can force your opponents to use a super and possibly achieve a round win.
Number 8. Astrocyte Verse.
Utilization of the Astrocytes upon activation of Nova Warp will enable you to use the Dark Blink ability as many times as you wish without the penalty of super ability drain while in super. This paired with Blink will enable you to cross the entire map if need be, and pairs exceedingly well with this super.
Number 9. Be mobile.
This is arguably the fastest super in the game. Proper utilization of this super will require you to be as squirrely as possible, as we've already discussed just how easy it is to get shut out of the super. Utilize both dart, blink, and blink to the best of your ability to close a target and get within range to dispatch your adversaries in the fastest means possible.
Number 10. Use cover.
If your super is running low or you're about to die, find a place to sit while you replenish your health. You'll also be able to make use of third person while in the super, so making best use of this to find your opponents can help significantly. Use this time to formulate a strategy to close a distance. Also, while at full charge, you can utilize cover to take advantage of hitting opponents on the other side of said cover in order to win the engagement.
Number 11. Super mods.
Running tier 10 intellect on your subclass is going to be the best method you can employ towards getting your super as fast as possible. Having your super before your enemy does will leave you free from having to worry about contending with one of their supers. If your armor doesn't already grant you tier 10 intellect, you can use intelligence mods on your armor, and if that doesn't do the trick, you can farm high-end armor using your Go Shell until you can get a build with enough intellect to run this effectively.
Number 12. Use your grenades.
Proper utilization of your grenades while in this super is going to be the best way to use this to close the gap. This way your enemy is more focused on dealing with your grenade than shooting at you, thus scoring a kill.
Number 13. Retreat when necessary.
If your super is about to end, it's usually a good idea to regroup with your team to prevent accidentally getting wasted as a result. Also, if you find you're about to perish, making good use of your movement abilities can help you get out of sticky situations. Never be afraid to make good use of your rift if you happen to have it, and get back into the fray.
Number 14. Synergize with teammates.
Communicate with your squad when you're about to use your super, so they can help dispatch opponents while you run amok. This will also help prevent you from accidentally casting two supers on the same round, especially if you're playing comp or trials.
Number 15. Control points.
Using this super, you can effectively clear areas of the map, such as cap points or portions of the map where heavy spawns. Having map control is an effective strategy towards winning any PvP match, especially now that Trials is zone control, where the capture of said zone is a means to winning the round.
Number 16. Practice.
There's not a whole lot of places outside PvE where you can practice using this super. I would advise taking it into a private match and turning on Mayhem mode with some friends to make better use of this super, as most other supers are far superior to this one, and it can take a lot of effort to make this super work well. Whereas this super is quite fun to run once you get the hang of it, competitively it holds a second candle towards Nova Bomb, as it takes longer for it to charge. This is bad, especially in the Dominion meta Trials players have been forced to bear. Popping a bubble with this super is especially difficult, as it will require all of your super to do so. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you have any other tips on how to best make use of this super, please share it in the comments below. Also, if you want to keep up with the latest updates on the channel, you can do so by following me on Twitter, the link of which will be in the description below. Thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.